Good evening, students. This is Professor Strada with your integrated reading and writing class, week 3 video lecture. As I start off with the video, I just want to make sure that you're able to follow along if you need this assistance. Mind you, it's just a video lecture as if we were to be in class. I'm going to start off on the home page just so that way you are aware of anything that we have. We start off here. Here on the left side tab, I will always have recap announcements. I have a week-to-week schedule. It tells you what was in the folder for that week or that following week. If you normally only see this once a week at the very end of a Friday or Saturday, it lets you know when a due date is. Because this is an online class, I open up the class generally on Monday morning or a little bit earlier than that through a Sunday. So your weekly online folders are scheduled in 2 sections, part 1 and part 2. This plays in part as if we were to meet in class on Monday or Wednesday or Tuesday, Thursday. Take your time with each section, and those weekly folders are not due until those Sunday nights. So Monday morning, 8 o'clock through a Sunday night, 11:59. And just like my recap announcements say, while a due date is usually that Sunday at 11:59, late work can still be accepted up to 4 days late, just 25 points off each day. You are always welcome to submit a late pass request through email. It just allows you up to 2 extra days, 48 hours, to submit an assignment without it being counted late. You can always do that by 10 o'clock on the day that it's due. So if you have a discussion board or a journal or something that needs to be taken care of, you won't have time. Just be sure to submit the request for it that Sunday by 10 o'clock and I'll honor it. One of the things that I will say is feel free to reach out to me at any time. This is my email. Be sure that you're using your student email to email me. If it's Hotmail or Yahoo, it goes straight to my spam and I'm unfortunately able to read it. One of the things that I will say is while there's a work to do module and the calendar, oftentimes they have the correct date or they have extra due dates on there that conflict with what the syllabus says. One of the things that I will say is because they allow up to the 4 days extra on here, just like a late day would, always pay attention to what the syllabus or the actual due date is on that assignment. While some people are quick to just click on this and dive right in, it doesn't give you any prior knowledge on what the content is for that week. Let's just say that you're diving into one of these quizzes and the rest of the lecture slides could have helped you with that. Always go into the content and or the lecture videos or the lecture slides to help you. So the assignments will usually say, while they always give you 4 extra days, it's always good to know that the calendar and modules are here, but to be sure that you are clicking on the content page. That way it lets you know. When I clicked on this, my internet is going in and out, so I apologize in advance. So I went ahead and opened up all the tabs. So this is the week 3, part 1 folder. Pay no mind to this, as I am recording this a couple of days in advance. You would see this and you would have access to it early on. This is the week 3, part 1 folder. It has lecture slides in there. It has a discussion board number 3. See its details. There's a journal prompt for you. And because you're continuing on into a peer-reviewed journal for Essay 1, I'm going to dive into those. There is an extra credit opportunity for you to complete in this week's folder. Now, it's just extra credit. It's not mandatory or required. It's just to help you in any which way. It tells you completing this will earn you up to 7 points on your lowest minor grade. And it tells you what minor grades consist of: quizzes, discussion boards, assignments, assessments, or journals. So in the week 3, part 1, many of these things are for a grade, and their due date is Sunday, February 8th. And just like I said, while the due date may state on the calendar February 12th, I just meant that the home page, that calendar module, will always tell you 4 extra days. And then it tells you that the due date for Essay 1 will be Tuesday, February 10th. It's just kind of giving you a heads up. Failure to not submit by Friday, February 13th will result in a 0. As this is an online class, it is an essay that you will submit online via Brightspace in its respectful module. This module will be found in the week 4, part 1. I will not accept email attachments, photos, or web links in exchange for it. It has to be submitted through that module. If I cannot access or download it, I cannot grade it. You are able to use a late pass extension for this essay, but it has to be given to me by February 10th, the day that it's due, by 10 o'clock, and I will honor that. Okay, so let's dive in, noticing that I'm clicking on these modules. Once I click on it, it opens up, it closes. So we have the lecture slides, discussion board number 3, weekly journal prompt number 4, peer review journal for essay 1, the word count link in case you need to count words for discussion board, and the extra credit. I'm going to go ahead and open up the week 3, day 1 lecture slides for you. That way, is if you were looking along with me, we have these. So we have the lecture slides as if we were in class. Feel free to follow along. Okay, so by this time, you should already have gone to the links of working into a draft for essay 1, which is our narrative essay. We have the online content, which I just went over. It just tells you at a glance. It tells you that you can still submit assignments up to 4 days late. I just deduct points each day late. And then for a late pass reminder, on the day that it's due by 10 o'clock, so Sunday by 10 o'clock, feel free to reach out to me so that way if you need just an extension, it's what the fancy word is, just an extension for that said discussion board or journal, especially if it's an essay. If you need those 2 extra days, I honor that it has to be sent by 10 o'clock that day. So by now, we should have the understanding that we have a draft somewhere ready to turn in. One of the things that we also have to consider for this class is we may have to do peer review as an individual on our own and reflect, or if we were in a group. But I like to consider this as a good afterthought for anybody that doesn't know what peer review is or is being introduced to peer review. Peer review as an introduction and understanding. What is peer review? So if we were in class, peer review is just a step in the writing process that allows students amongst each other to clarify their own ideas in writing by receiving feedback and critique from others. The use of peer review. By participating in peer review, you as a student learn how to read and analyze a work more critically, learn how to strengthen your own writing by considering suggestions made by others and implement feedback in your writing, and learn how to gather and respond to helpful but constructive feedback. This plays a lot into whether you are doing this on your own, blindsidedly, or whether a peer, a classmate, or even someone online is looking at it through a discussion board. And here are some helpful guides for peer review, whether it's for this class or a future class, or whether you do it on your own. You will be looking at drafts from other people or your own. And let's look at understanding that whether it's our own work or somebody else's, we're all learners and readers. First of all, whether it's your draft or not, be sure that you're looking at the comments. Be sure you're taking time with paragraphs. Now, if it's your own essay, you're going to glean through it because you've already written it. But when you're looking at somebody else's, make sure that you take time looking at the words, looking at the structure, looking at the conventions, looking at how it flows. Reminder, when you're looking at writing editorial comments, they should be helpful, but constructive. Be sure to make comments that are clear and concise. As a reader, don't be afraid to raise questions if something is vague or confusing. Okay? And then the due date for this essay is Tuesday, February 10th by 11:59. So you have until that midnight to turn it in. And it just tells you that you are given a late pass for it. So I'm going to exit out of this hoping that it doesn't mess up anything. But we have our discussion board right here. All right, sorry guys, my internet's not working right now. So we have our discussion board right here. Let's see what it entails. So as we consider the rest of the contents for the class, I want us to consider this discussion board. This discussion board number 3 says a writer's strengths. Looking back on what you think your best writer's strengths is, I want you to consider the following questions. I want you to be able to answer these. You can consider these as honest as you want to or as vague, but I would like you to upload a response for all these questions in about 200 words. That word count link is there specifically for you to count those words. And just consider recollecting where you're at as a writer. And be sure to respond to 2 to 3 students. So the responses are what gets your grade higher. And if it's asking for a response from them, make sure to meet that response. Replying to others is really helpful, especially if you're wanting a higher grade. And if you need to know how to reply to people, I've included some examples right here. And notice that due date. While the due date says something else on the calendar on the homepage, it's always the due date right here. So once you start, you just click on a new start thread. You can start a new title if you want to. Click on somebody that you haven't tried responding to. As this is a larger online class, you're more than welcome to try to reply to people that normally don't get responses. And I'm going to exit out of that. And I'm going to hope that my journal opens up. Give me 1 second. You guys are not seeing the aftermath of this. My internet keeps cutting out, but I'm going to try my best. So let's go into the next journal. Weekly journal number 4. It's a journal prompt. You don't have to ever reply to somebody else. Just go in. Think creatively for this journal within a couple of sentences. So let's look at this one. What is the first thing that you think of when you hear or see the word green? What is it that you see? And you're using your 5 senses: smell, see, taste, touch, feel. Think of something. Is the first thing that you think of grass? What kind of grass? Is it soft grass? Is it prickly grass? Is it a watermelon? What do you see when you either imagine the color green? Is it somebody's eyes? Is it a forest? What do you see and what comes to your eyes? Okay, and then you'll start a new thread. You can start it with a different subject line, or you can write in any font or any size as long as it's legible. Just make sure that you don't reply to people. It's just your own journal. I'm going to close out of this. And then I'm going to go into the peer review journal so that way you see it. So that way you have it. Students, you're not seeing the aftermath of what's happening. I have to keep pausing the video as I do this in real time because my internet keeps cutting out due to the winter storm. So I apologize for that. So this is the peer review journal for Essay 1. So just like our lecture slides, we got into this mindset of looking at peer review and what that means for our own reflection of our essay, a draft, or somebody else's. So we're going to be doing this as an individual person reflecting on our own. So as with any essay, the use of the writing process details outline, drafting. So as this is an online class, some type of peer review will be used to help you in your writing. Below are a few statements that I will ask you to fill out completely as you begin to reflect on what you've written so far in Essay 1. You do not have to upload a draft or attach it. This is simply a journal, but I am going to ask you to respond to these questions and make sure that you are writing a response, okay? So remember that a draft is just that. It's not the final copy. It's not the copy that you submit. Between a draft and a final copy, changes, revisions, and editing can still be fixed. So here's the peer review checklist. You can copy and paste the entire section of all of these questions in the thread and answer them just like that. Or you can just copy them, list the questions in number form, and then just write out yes or no. Okay, be sure one of these is done. So for this checklist, just like I said, you can copy all of this and copy it all the way in the start thread and just put yes or no, or actually write out things. So I do want you to make sure that these are answered in your own words. So you can write out number 1, is there a title? You can write out all of that and put yes or no in your own words, different color, different font, or you can just write out the number 1 and then just put yes or no because you're answering. You are answering this. Be sure to write in something to let me know that you did reflect on your responses. So is there a title? Pull up a draft wherever you find yourself within your Essay 1. It could be just 1 paragraph. It can be 2 paragraphs. It can be the most recent one that you have as you're working on it because it's due in the next couple of days for you. But reflect on it. It's asking you, is there a title? Yes, no. Is there an interesting hook? Yes, no. Overall, can you tell it is a essay? Yes, no. This should say narrative essay on it. This should say narrative essay. As a writer, can you smoothly transition from one paragraph to another? Is your purpose clear and tone appropriate? Common basic words like these take away from the tone of the essay, so just be sure to consider, are these words that are necessary in my paper, or can I polish them in some way or another? Notice that a lot of these words are conjunction words that tend to take up a lot of space in our paper. We use the word very, so, like, but, because. What other words can we use instead? Does the author remind of points? Are there 2 examples? What is 1 weakness? And this peer review journal is due Sunday, February 8th. And whenever you start a new thread, be sure to click on that. Okay. This journal may change depending on the questions now that I've noticed what they are. in response to a narrative. There may or may not be some of these, so it might be changed a little bit. And then I'm going to click out of this. Yeah, it's going to definitely change. And then we have the word count link. This link is used to count words for discussion boards or replies to other people. And then the extra credit opportunity. Let me go in and let's see what its instructions are. So sorry, I've been having internet issues. Okay, sorry. You're going to be seeing this as a very rough sketch of this video because of the internet issues I'm having, and it's causing me to pause every now and then. So this extra credit opportunity is just the instructions. Its due date is February 8th at 11:59. You cannot use a late pass on this, and you cannot turn in extra credit opportunities late. But it just says as an extra credit opportunity to create a new document for Word or document compatible. If it allows you a text box, you're more than welcome to write in the text box. But in about 7 to 10 sentences, answer the following questions. What are some positive factors that you've learned while being in a college class? What are some negative setbacks that you've experienced or recognized with timed deadlines? And as a reflection piece, discuss what you could have done more to prepare yourself in what you're wanting to improve in. And it's just a reflection piece. It's not mandatory or required. It just really helps. To receive this extra credit, it has to be turned in on the date above. And just completing this extra credit will earn you up to 7 points on your lowest grade, and then it tells you the lowest grades. I'm going to pause this video real quick, and then I'm going to open up to the week 3, day 2 folder. Okay, I'm back. We are now in the week 3 folder, part 2. We have our lecture slides, and then we have a reading assessment practicum. It is a downloadable document that you will need to go back in and answer the responses and then submit it. And here in a second, I'll probably open that up so that you see it. And the week 3 folder follows a week 3 deadline, Sunday, February 8th. It just says that while the homepage calendar may say something else, it follows the Sunday due date. And then it says, going into the week 3 deadline, that the essay is due Tuesday, February 10th. Failure to submit by that time, February 13th at 11:59 will result in a 0. And the essay module for this will be found in the week 4, part 1. You are given a late pass extension for this, but you have to let me know by that Sunday at 10 o'clock. And the unit of mechanics exam will be taken next week during this said time. It will be found in the week 4 folder somewhere. Yes, it will be found in the week 4 folder. Sorry, I had to kind of skip ahead. And it covers week 1 through week 3. Be sure to study and review for the following. So this is at a glance what's in the week 3, day 2, our lecture slides and the reading assessment practicum. So I'm going to open up the week 3 lecture slides as if we were looking at them in class. That way you have them nice and pretty. Oh, nice and pretty. I'm zooming out a little bit. We have the online content. And then what's in the folder for the week 3, day 1 online content. And the week 3, day 2. So just at a glance, what's in the whole week as a whole, so that way you have it. And then it just says, as a reminder for late assignments. And then it says, as there will be some days and weeks with less content, feel free to reach out at any point. It's geared to be semi-self-paced, so there's going to be more heavier weeks than some. But these are days that allow you to catch up and just take your time with them. And then the important reminder for the essay is due during that time. I'm going to pause this video real quick, so I'm going to open up the practicum so that way you're able to see it. Sorry about that. So this is the week 3, part 2 folder. We have our lecture slides, and then we have the reading assessment practicum. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. If I clicked on it, it was taking me forever, so I went ahead and clicked on it this way. These are the instructions from my end. It just tells you what you will be seeing. It says that this is a downloadable PDF or Word document, and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute, but it does have it attached down here, so you can use either one. And it says that you will need to download either version and create your own copy with your own completed answers. If you have technical difficulties issuing or submitting it to me, let me know. We can find another way for you to submit it, just because it may be difficult to go in and download again. But if there's a text box given, you are more than welcome to answer those in their own things. Its due date follows the week 3. And then it says if the homepage tells you differently, it just is adding those extra 4 days. So when you click on one of these, I'm going to show you what it looks like when it opens up, so that way you have it. It should look like this. reading passages. It's just called TSI Prep Practicum. It's as if you would be reviewing what a TSI review quiz would look like. So we have a couple of reading passages. And again, you are going to have to copy and download this and submit it on your own. I've had people submit everything and just include the answers at the very bottom of the page. Or I've had students where they just give me 1 through 10 in answers, however they see fit. So there's a reading passage, and then there's questions. So some people just highlight the question, they take away all the rest of them, or they just list them in number or bullet form order. However you would like to. Some of these are written out. Some of these are multiple choice. We have another reading passage. We also have a couple of multiple choice questions right here. So there's about just 10 questions. And so you as a student, you will need to either download this again, copy and paste the questions in its own document, and then just go back and submit it however you see fit. It does state its week 3 form. But as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm so sorry that I've been having internet issues. The winter storm is kicking me because of this, but because I'm recording early, it just keeps cutting back out. But as always, feel free to reach out to me. This is my email right here, aestrada@hillcollege.edu. Whenever you go into the online content, be sure that you're clicking on the content to go to the folders for week 3, part 1 and part 2.